Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a really cool product to review. This is the ventilated seat cushion from Tlyard. This features an automatic on and off feature with a 3-stage fan, which you can put in manual mode as well. The product is made of 100% Nappa Leather. The color match to the Tesla OEM interior is perfect. It is as close as I could possibly have hoped for. So looking at the center of the cushion, on its face you see a ventilated mesh material where the fans are visible. The headrest opening is cut where it could be stretched over the headrest, or you can remove the headrest. On the back side, we'll take a look at the materials. So on the back side you have 2 hooks in the front. Those will be used to secure the seat cover to the underside of your driver's side chair. And then you have these 2 tether anchors which will go through the cushion into the back of the chair and lock in. And then you have the barrel connector, which allows for the 12-volt connection to your cigarette lighter port in the center console. So the lighter connector does come with 2 wires, so you can connect both seat covers if you order 2 to one connection. And there's a look at the barrel connector and the seat cover anchors and the hooks. So the hooks are just like any other hook. All right, let's go on to the install. Installation is pretty quick. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you just wipe down the seat underneath, because any debris that's trapped could get mashed into your seat, especially with the white. You don't want to risk that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to first just get a dry fit, get our cushion lined up, and we're going to take those metal hooks and make sure that our seat is as far back and up as possible so that we can work underneath the driver's seat. And you can really get an idea of how well this white Nappa leather matches the white interior. It's awesome. I'm installing my button on the left side for this install. You can install it on the right side as well, depending on which kit that you get. So we're going to go ahead and go under the seat. We're going to take the hook closest to the door, and these are an elastic, so they can stretch out pretty good. So you want to try and get as far back of a stretch as you can to keep that cover nice and tight. Does not matter where you hook it onto, as long as it's a piece of metal or something that's sturdy. You'll find something to catch onto. That's good to go. Just make sure that you have that elastic stretched out as tight as possible. Now we're going to go ahead and tuck the outside of the cover along that plastic trim where the seat controls are. You're going to just stuff it in. There's a nice beveled edge that you can use. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the other elastic strap with the metal hook, and we'll do the same thing on this side. Just make sure, again, you pull that elastic as tight as you can, and it does not matter where you hook it onto under the seat. As long as you get a nice tight fit, that's all that matters. Alright, so now we have our seat cover hooked up in the front, and we're going to take the top portion, just fold it forward, and what we're going to be doing now is taking those seat anchors, or the seat cover anchors rather, and the barrel connector, and we're going to be passing them through the fold in the seat. So that gap that is between the upper and lower portion, You're going to pass that barrel connector through, and then each anchor, you're going to push that anchor down as far as you can until you feel it go flat and lock into place. So you might have to push it a little bit more than you thought. Just make sure it's in place. We're going to do the same thing for the other one. And again, sometimes you have to just kind of maneuver it around a little bit to get a good placement, and you'll know when it's in place because it'll be very difficult to pull back out. And again, just make sure that barrel connector is sticking out the back too. Now we're going to go back to the back of the front seat, and we're going to remove the headrest. This is a tedious process. I use here a trim panel tool. You can use a flat screwdriver or a pry tool. Just be careful that you don't mar the leather. There are two metal fasteners that you're going to push towards the outside of the car on both sides. So you're going to push the metal fastener towards the outside of the car, and if you have an extra pry tool or a flat blade screwdriver, you can go ahead and leverage the headrest like I'm doing with my hand here and just twist it upwards, and that will keep the fastener from popping back into place. Don't give up on it. It's a little tedious, but eventually you'll get it. It takes a couple minutes. This is how I installed mine. You can stretch the seat cover over the headrest if you'd like. I just wasn't able to get it, so this was the option I went with. All right, so we've got the headrest rather loosened, and again, just make sure those pins are there. Now I have aftermarket seat backs on, so I'm not worried about the black shells falling down. If you have the stock ones, they will fall out. That's okay. So we're going to remove the headrest. You're going to lower the seat back so that you can remove the headrest. Just put it to the side for now. And then you can bring the seat back up just like so. So now we're going to take that top portion of the seat cover, and again, you can really see how nice that leather matches. It's almost perfect. So we're going to go ahead and stretch that leather seat cover over the upper portion of the seat. Pretty self-explanatory. Just stretch it out as best as you can. It is leather, it will stretch the material. There's plenty of material to fit around the back of the seat. So if it's not going, just keep going at it. Overall, this install should take about 20 minutes per seat, 30 minutes per seat, depending on how quick you get that headrest off. Okay, so now I've got the seat cover over the upper portion of the seat, and you can see it's starting to shape up already. Really nice. The seams line up perfectly. And that middle portion there will stretch out as you sit. So you can see in the sides. I wish they used the white fabric for this opening, but they didn't. So now on my aftermarket seat backs, this leather cover fit right behind perfectly. If you have the black shell seat backs, there might be a little bit of a gap. That's fine. These are just ventilated seat covers. So now we're going to go ahead and run the 12-volt power cable. And we're going to go ahead and raise the seat up so that we can work underneath the seat here. And for this portion, you're going to be removing the hooks from the wraparound on the seat back. So if you have the OEM seat backs, you'll have that black piece of leather that goes under the seat. There's two hooks just like in the front. You're going to go ahead and remove those two hooks and just loosen that cover so that you can get underneath the seat. And then what'll happen is you'll see those two anchors, 1, 2. And then you should also see the barrel connector sticking out, which is right there. So that seat back wrap will actually cover all of our wiring and act as a almost like a conduit or path for those wires. So there's your double 12-volt power connector. If you like, you can run it the way I'm doing it here. I ended up changing this because it didn't have enough cable, because I switched the location of the button. But you can just pry the leather trim away from the center console. They're just push fasteners. And you can loop your power cable just like that around the trim piece. So now once you have that done, you're going to take the other end and you want to go underneath the rail of the seat. There's a Velcro split in the carpet under the seat, and you're going to pass that power cable under that rail. Do not go over the rail, because as that seat moves, it will cut that wire right in half. So make sure you go under the rail. And again, if you're going with the route of tucking that wire, just tighten it up. And then you want to pull any slack that you have, make it nice and tight. And we're going to go ahead and connect that barrel connector to the female side that we pushed through the seat before, just like so. And then with the leather wrap around, whether they have the black one or the white like I have, doesn't matter. Just put your wire in that wrap around so that it's nice and tight to the seat. And you can go ahead and refasten those hooks on both sides. Just make sure that the wire is still wrapped up in that leather so that it's not dangling. It's very tricky when you're doing this with one hand as well, but we managed to get it done. And again, with those elastic straps, doesn't matter where you reconnect them as long as it's nice and tight. Okay, looks good. So now we're just going to wrap up the install. We're almost done. So we're going to go ahead and move our seat back all the way down. And we're going to move the upper portion back. This is to facilitate reinstalling the headrest that we removed earlier. So again, if you're using the stock seat shells in the back, make sure you catch the two holes on the shell as you put the headrest in. For me, I have the aftermarket ones. It wasn't an issue. And you can see there's no visible gaps in the seat cover and the headrest after the install, which is awesome. We have power. The seat backs are working so far. You can see the LEDs are nice and bright. And there's a 3-speed fan. And then there's an auto and manual switch and an on and off button. We'll go into the function of each in the next segment. Everything looks like it's working good. So now on the back, you do see some of that black trim. Over time, that should stretch out a little bit, but you can see the fit and finish on this is phenomenal. The install is completed and our ventilated seat cover has been installed. And now we're going to go into our function test. Okay, so we're going to go over the functions of the seat cover on this little panel here. From the factory, they come set to automatic. So if you go to this setting here, this keeps the pressure sensor on and off. If you switch that over to manual, you have a red LED there, that sensor will not come on. It's going to rely on you to turn on the button here. So we'll go back to automatic and then manual. So automatic is blue, manual is red. These are in Chinese, so I will put up Google Translate and show you what they translate to. So now if I go to on and turn the seat covers on, you'll see there is 3 levels of LEDs and the red light indicates that they're on. So level 3 is pretty loud, as you can hear. And if we switch over, it starts back at 1. This is the setting I've been using and I've had a lot of success with it. And then we can go up to 2. I've used this too on a really hot day. And then we have 3 again, going full power. So now if we switch it back to the sensor and we turn it off, when the sensor is activated, that red light will stay on.
and then if we sat down, it will turn on and then off. And that's really all it is to it for as far as the functions are concerned. Now let's go over some of the pros and cons that I have with this seat cover. So now that we have the ventilated seat cover installed, let's go over some of the pros and the things that I like. So overall, the fit and finish of this seat cover is beautiful. This leather, this Nappa leather is absolutely incredible. It really, honestly, I think it looks better than the stock OEM seats. But I was really impressed with the matching of the color and how nicely it fit around the seat with very little stretching. And you can see there the seams really line up well. So I was really a fan of the fit and finish of this seat cover. Very impressed. I love the fact that this has a sensor that activates when you go ahead and sit down. So if I press down, you can hear it coming on. If I stay down, it comes on. So it's running right now. And as soon as I take my hand off, it's going to stop, thinking that I got out of the car. So that automatic sensor is really, really useful. It helps not having to look for the button. You can install this seat cover either with the button left facing or right facing. I'm left-handed, so I choose to go with this side. It's just more convenient for me. Your fit can vary. If we go look at the back, you can see the fit and finish is really, really sleek. The one thing that I wish they changed was the black band around the opening for the headrest. I'm sure over time it'll stretch a little more anyway. But you can really see this fit is really, and with these custom seat backs that I have, the overall fit is even better because these cover more of the seat back than the OEM ones do. So definitely really like the fit and finish of this. No complaints there from me. The sensor function is awesome. Now let's talk about some of the things that I don't like. So there's a few cons with this seat cover that I want to address. One of them being the visibility of the fans. I know these come in black, and I'm sure in a black version they're not even visible, but on the white, since this is a breathable mesh, they do peek right through. Maybe for future builds they could use a white colored fan. The other issue I have is the noise that comes from the fan. When these are on level 3, they are quite noisy, which I've been using on level 1 and 2 and it hasn't been as bad, but level 3 is pretty loud. The other issue I have is the cord. Now it's difficult to run this depending on which way you have it configured. If you have the button on the inside, you do have a little more length of cord. For me, I wanted the buttons on the outside, so this cord is a little shorter because the connection is on this side of the seat. If you watch the whole install video, you'll see I installed this cord is a little shorter because the connection is on
Check,
this
check.
side of the seat. If you watch the whole install video, you'll see I installed.
All right, guys, so I have an awesome promotion for you from Tlyard. So for the next 7 days, we have 30% off these seat covers, whether you buy 1 or 2, if you use code TOPSHELF30OFF. We also have a promo through July 20th for 25% off your entire purchase using code TOPSHELF. Huge savings. Go get the deal now. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Smash that like button, ring that bell. I appreciate you joining us today for our video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Take care. Peace out.